Welcome to Since Rookie Season.
Well, the summer before.
A Heated Rivalry fan companion podcast where your hosts, Amanda, Lau, and Lauren, break down the episodes from the Crave Canada television series, the Game Changers novels, and various media surrounding this fan phenomenon.
The day has finally arrived, and we're here to talk about our beloved, the women of Heated Rivalry. Stay tuned.
Hi, welcome back. I hope you really enjoyed our last episode on neurodivergence. This week, we are talking about feminism and the women in Heated Rivalry. We have two friends of the pod here, and also, as we're recording this, it is Met Gala night. We have just seen Hudson get into his Sprinter van with his makeup and his hair, and so you will probably maybe get a live reaction. Maybe Amanda will clip it out, and we can post it on socials of our live reaction from the Met Gala. Anyways, I'm gonna toss it over to our lovely guests. They're going to introduce themselves like we always ask them to. We're going to ask them some questions, and then we're going to get into the argument. The argument. Can you tell I was arguing with too many people on Threads this weekend?
Lauren,
Anyways.
this is a safe, nice space.
No one's gonna attack you here.
Well, somebody did tell me that this weekend that I'm that critique is doing heavy lifting and I'm just a hater. And I would like everyone to know that if you didn't know by now, I am just a hater, but I'm also a hater with a PhD. So that's critique. So anyways, tossing it over to our lovely guests this week, Haley and Rogue. Whoever wants to go first, go first. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Haley. I use she, her pronouns, and I got into Heated Rivalry. I am first and foremost a romance girly. I love the romance genre. So that's kind of how I'm coming to this conversation as well. But I was told about Heated Rivalry by an internet friend, Kaylee, and ended up audiobooking the first just Heated Rivalry because I couldn't get a copy fast enough. I've since read it actually with my eyeballs as well, and people are right about about the narrators making some choices as narrators are wont to do. But I got into Heated Rivalry from my internet friend Kaylee. How do you choose a favorite woman in the Heated Rivalry universe? I have to pick one.
No, I think that's honestly quite rude because they're all beautiful and wonderful, and I think picking a favorite woman is sexist.
True.
So whoever wrote that note, no, I'm just kidding.
Estás pero de un peleón.
You tell them.
And you know what? Exactly, Lau. No, Haley, if you don't have a favorite one, you don't have to pick a favorite one.
You know, I think my favorite right now is Svetlana. Very excited to talk about Svetlana.
Amen.
We'll get into it, but love show Svetlana. Honestly forgot that book Svetlana was so different. Like, show Svetlana is just Svetlana. Like, that's it. And something that I think is, like, the reason that I think Heated Rivalry is so addictive, why it's been so pervasive, why it's touched so many people is, like, going back to being a romance genre girly. Like, we get so few adaptations of romance media that is produced with love and care and appreciation and respect for the genre and for the women and marginalized people who are creating the genre and who are reading the genre. And so this was an adaptation that you can just feel the respect for, like, the source material, the respect for the genre as a whole, and the people who consume the genre by the people who were making it. You can see oh my god.
Connor took the jacket off.
Thank God.
I was waiting for you to finish your thought.
And you know what? I just saw it. Like, this feels like, is this what Bush felt like during 9/11?
Is Hudson the second tower?
No, he's the Cuntagon, obviously.
Oh my god. His hair, the arms, stop.
It's
Okay, coming back to my thought because we were just interrupted by buy the 4K Connor photos from the Met Gala. Basically, I think that this, like, there's just so much care that's put into the making of the show. You can tell that everybody who worked on it has so much genuine love and respect for the romance genre and fans of the romance genre. So that is something that really, really bleeds through on top of all of the amazing, amazing talent from everybody involved that I think is really part of what has pushed Heated Rivalry into the stratosphere.
Thank you so much for introducing yourself, Haley. Notably to our listeners, this is not my Haley, but this is a great Haley. Like,
Yes.
as amazing.
So smart.
We're a pretty great group of people with this name.
And
I
you know
spelled the
what?
same too.
That's so real. Are you what is your star sign? What is your sun sign?
I'm a Leo.
Ooh. Okay, wait. Are you like
You
Cus?
can tell by
Are you like,
everything about me.
Are you like Leo, Virgo, Cus?
No, Lauren has opinions on Leos.
I have opinions.
I don't know what end of the Leo spectrum is the Virgo cusp. I really don't know a ton about astrology.
When is your birthday?
August 21st. We can cut this. This doesn't need to be on the internet.
Okay, so you're like Virgo cusp. You're like
Okay.
close to the end. Because
Yeah.
my best friend Haley is a Virgo. She's August 29th.
Ooh.
So we'll vibe. We'll get together. We'll do a little key. We'll do a little key.
Love it.
Now we're gonna toss it over to our other guest, our other friend of the pod, Rogue. Hi Rogue, how are you?
Hello, I'm Rogue. I'm 26. I go by she, her. I've been in fandom spaces for like a long time. To only be 26, I've been in like fandom spaces since I was like 12 when I first made a fanfic.net account when I really wasn't supposed to. Stayed up very late reading fanfiction that my mother would have a heart attack about. But yeah, I've been around for a while. I first got into Heated Rivalry. Honestly, I wasn't trying to get into Heated Rivalry. At first, I was very hesitant about it. And then my friend Bella introduced it to me because she had read the book prior to the show coming out. And I really didn't want to get into it because I thought it was going to be another like tragic love story, another like bury your gaze concept. And I was really tired of that because we have had so much of that happen. But she reassured me that there was a lot more to the story, that they have like the dynamic between Shane and Ilya was a lot more than just tragedy, and that they had a lot more depth, a lot more yearning into it. So I eventually gave it a shot when the first 2 episodes came out, and then I was locked in. And then I ordered the book, and then I had to wait until the show was basically over to be able to read the book because it was sold out everywhere. So I had to wait a really long time to actually be able to compare the book to the show and see what changes they made. But even after going back, after like watching the full show and then reading the book, I was still so in love with the characters. Like I was still so locked into the world, and I kept wanting to know more. And then the long game came out and I was like, oh, there's more. Okay. I don't so yeah, I really like it now that I actually gave it a shot, now that I actually committed to it. Favorite women in the Heated Rivalry universe, it's a tie for me because I really do love Svetlana, but specifically show Svetlana. Book Svetlana, I have complicated feelings about. And then Una Hollander as well. I love Una. I love her so much. We'll get into that when we talk about her, but I love her character in both the show and the book for different reasons. But yeah, if I have to pick between women, which God gun to my head, yes, Svetlana and Una. I love them both, honestly.
Real.
And why do I think the show is addictive? Or do I find it addictive? I think the show is, in my opinion, more addictive than the book. And I might be biased by saying that because I read the book after I watched the show. But after having done that process backwards, I do think that the show is more addictive in the way that it gives us a lot more access to both of their point of views. Because I will say, I do think Heated Rivalry is more of a Shane book, and then in Long Game, we get a lot more Ilya, in my opinion. And I do think the show balances out both of their perspectives in a really good way in very specific scenes. Especially with seeing Ilya go to Russia and having those conversations with him and his dad, and the whole scene of him under the bridge talking to Shane in his native tongue. That whole perspective really, it helped me understand Ilya a lot better than it did in the book. Not to say that the book was bad at that, but I think the show did a better job of it for me as a viewer. So I think in that way it's more addictive. But in generally, I think Heated Rivalry is addictive because it's very honest with itself. Like it doesn't shy away from a lot of topics. There's no like cure all. There's no fix all for like in order to get the happily ever after. You have to work toward it, and they put in the hard work. They put in the steps, and they make a lot of mistakes. But I think it's addictive in the way that they don't shy away from it. Like you're just sort of along for the ride with them for however embarrassing it gets. So yeah.
No, we love that. We love that. Thank you so much for your answers. I love that you've also kind of like, I love that all of our guests are like, every time we like ask them like how did they get into Heated Rivalry, everybody has a very different story. Like nobody's journey is the same. Like yes, Kaylee brought a lot of people together because like
What happens when you're in a group chat with a bunch of people and
right, exactly.
There's a queer romance show that you need to watch, you need to read.
Right, exactly. But like even like some of our guests have been like oh, I knew about it like way before it like was gonna come out, but then I wasn't really like into it, or I was like reading the books like right before it happened, or like all of this stuff. So I think it's just all really interesting to see how we like come to this fandom, even though it is literally a heaping pile of steaming garbage 98% of the time.
Sometimes
I got so pissed off this weekend from both racist people and then just people being mean to me on the internet that I was like, I couldn't even read the fan fiction. Like that's how upset I was.
Oh no.
I know.
That's bad.
We're that TikTok audio right now of that dancing like a ballerina, and then that's me in my happy little like fan art fan fiction. Like I don't have any problems on my algorithm, and then you're the other side of the audio where it's like fighting for your fucking life, bro.
Ever since you brought up that TikTok in our book club, every single time I think about that TikTok, I think of you doing it.
Well, and I get the words wrong because it's spinning. It's spinning like a ballerina and not dancing, but I always think it's dancing like a ballerina. Yeah. And that's me on Twitter of all places. Anyway.
Yeah.
You're on a very good
sorry.
side of
Twitter?
Oh my god.
Yes, I know. I don't know. It's all like hockey stuff, and then it's like Heated Rivalry stuff and Percy Jackson stuff, and like whatever else is happening currently. It's awesome.
Twitter being the ballerina portion of that sound is
Right.
No, literally, like what the hell? I left that episode. I left that episode. I left that season of my life. Like 2 years ago. I don't think I've been on Twitter in like 2 years at this point. So
no, you don't want to be back.
No, I don't. I'm literally, you could not pay me to be on that website.
And I don't blame you.
Maybe you could, but like maybe you could.
I'm also spinning like a ballerina because I have been on the quest to reduce my screen time, and I'm at this point at 1 hour and 19 minutes per day on my phone, and I'm really proud. So every time Lauren is like, Freds, I'm being attacked, I'm like, just send it to me because I'm not scrolling. I'm just not gonna scroll.
No, and it's crazy because I was also like, I'm going to take a break from social media this year, and I'm going to put an hour limit on all of my social media. And on Saturday, I was like out with my friend, and I kept being like, extend 15 minutes, extend 15 minutes, extend 15 minutes, and then like typing furiously. Like, no, it's bad. My therapist is going to yell at me this week. It's fine. Anyway, speaking of therapists, we're now going to turn to all the emotional labor that these women do for these men in this TV show. Because... You know they do. You know they do.
Are we gonna talk about our favorite women?
No, Amanda, I don't care about your favorite woman.
Homophobic. Homophobic.
Why is it Svetlana? Because that's my favorite woman. Actually,
this is a fan club for Svetlana.
Only. Also, Ksenia. Ksenia?
Yes.
Make my line. Once again, I'm gonna do it in every episode until she does. No, Amanda, who is your favorite Heated Rivalry?
What is a woman?
What?
They're objects, actually. I definitely have to steal Rogue's answer. Unfortunately, it is between Svetlana and Yuna. I think that they are so top for me. Like, they are just really up there in how smart they are and how, like, yes, they support the men, but I feel like they have depth in and of themselves. Like, they are characters outside of the men and have sides to them with that I really appreciate. And I feel like they're just so strong. Like, I know Elena is really strong in her character, just the way that she is, like, a force of nature, but that puts her at close third. But yeah, I would have to put Svetlana and Yuna at the top. Thank you for asking. Lau?
Lau, what about you?
I think my favorite woman of Heated Rivalry is the combination of Rose and Svetlana. I'm gonna ship them
Roslana.
until I die. I'm gonna keep drawing them. I'm just gonna keep dreaming about them until we get what we want. So yeah.
I also love Roslana.
Thank you, Haley.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the headcanon that, because in the book, Elena moves to LA at the end of the skip book, and that's where she meets Rose, where Rose is acting, and they like somehow run into each other at some like whatever uppity party fancy event, and then it almost happens like how Shane and Rose happened, except it's not Shane. I think that would go really well.
And you know what? I agree with that. We need more lesbian representation in this book. But you know what? I'm not asking Rachel Reed to do anything, because she's gonna fuck it up. Clearly. As we've seen.
Yeah.
You want more lesbian representation with actual lesbians and not with two gay men that are acting like lesbians, right? That's what you meant.
Yeah. But also two gay men acting like lesbians. We need more representation of that, too, because I don't think that happens very often. And they're more like me than they think they are.
Mm.
You know? Actually, very funny story. I'm going to go on a tangent. This weekend, I had a house sale at my house, and I had this guy who's an artist, who's one of my neighbors, come over to my house. And he was in my house for all of 5 minutes, and he came back, and he gave me 2 drawings that fit perfectly into my apartment.
Whoa.
And I was like, you looked at my space for all of 30 seconds, maybe. And then you came back, and you gave me these. And you know what? Gay men are like gay women. Or gay non-binary people.
I told someone I love Chicago today, and they were a little like confused by it. And this is exactly what I mean. I love Chicago. What the hell?
What the hell? It was amazing. Okay, so we all said our favorite. You know what? Shout out to the casting to having them all be women of color. We love that. And actually, you know what? I haven't seen a lot of hate directed towards the women of color in this fandom, which is crazy because, like, if you think about, like, I don't know if you guys were ever involved in The Flash, but, like, Iris got so much shit for being black, like, having a black actress. Oh yeah, Rose is white. No, I am sorry. I do be forgetting about her. As one of my favorite
super white. She's like from
Michigan.
Detroit.
One of the
Michigan.
M states.
She's from Michigan.
Yeah,
Yes.
one of the M states. Thank you.
She's faced with the red wings. Yes, that's my state.
Nearly all of the women in the show are people of color, except for Rose. And that's great. We love that on casting. I also have not seen like a ton of hate in the fandom against like women of color, which is, you know, very opposite to what is normal in fandoms with women of color. So that's great. But I think we're gonna I think like most of this conversation is going to like center around like it breaking down each of the women in the show and kind of like our favorite things that we love to say about that, or their favorite things that they say, like how they kind of fit into these stories. But we do want to point out that unfortunately this show does fail the Bechdel test. Lau, do you want to explain what the Bechdel test is?
Yeah, if you have listened to our previous episodes, we did discover live that it failed the Bechdel test. Do you know the origins? Because I don't remember the name of the person.
Yes, it's from Alison Bechdel, who wrote Fun Home.
Yes.
Originally, when we brought this up on the pod, I was like, Lau, you're wrong. It's not from Alison Bechdel. And Lau was like, no, I think I'm right. And I was like, no, you're wrong. And then I looked it up and I was wrong.
Yay!
So it is, yes, it is literally from Alison Bechdel, who wrote Fun Home. Keep going, Lau. Keep talking.
So basically, what it means, what you need for something to pass this test is that you need to have at least 2 women talking to each other about something that is not a man.
They also have to be named.
Yes.
And they have to be named. Thank you, Haley. So they cannot be just like extras in the background talking about coffee. They need to be like full-fledged characters with a name. And unfortunately, every single time we see a woman in this show, they're talking to a man. I think the only time where we see 2 of these women together in a scene is Maria and Elena, and they're both talking to Kip and Sean. So it's not really, they're not talking to each other, and that time they're talking about Scott. So again, it fails the Bechdel test. And it's really weird that I like something that fails it. So this is an anomaly in my life.
I believe Alison Bechdel's also said that, like, she created the test in one of her comics pre-Fun Home. I
Yes.
forget the name of it.
Mhm.
And she's I believe said that she never intended for this to be the like end all be all test for if a piece of media is feminist at its core or is like XYZ at its core. It is like a measure of that.
A good measure.
When you have women who are able to engage in a conversation that's not about a man. But I don't think that things that don't pass the test, I don't think that means that they are necessarily bad or wrong or invalid.
Right. Yeah, I think like inherently Heated Rivalry is like some kind of progressive television show because it's showing like two men in love in a place that is stringently heterosexual and against like any kind of pride or gay events in any shape or form or athletes being out. And so I think it inherently is progressive, but it's not like feminist ethics are core to its structure, I would say.
Yeah.
And I mean like women and like feminism as like women as like tools for plot narratives comes across in so many different ways. Like I do a lot of research in comics, and one of the things that we always talk about is the women in refrigerators trope, which is literally when women are quote unquote fridged or like killed or murdered or raped or whatever in order to be plot development for men. And so that is, or like plot development, emotional development, something along those lines for
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
literally like, and there's so much media.
Anything Marvel.
Anything Marvel.
Setting the hero off on his journey of revenge or
yes. Yeah. Literally when I was about to call her Natasha Bedingfield.
Don't think that's
Is that
right.
the unwritten?
Yeah. When Natasha Romanoff gets just like fucking chucked into an into a crater in order to move the plot
arguably.
Yeah, because you have to get rid of the thing you love the most. And you know what?
I don't know this reference.
Okay, well, clearly you did not watch Avengers Endgame.
No, I didn't.
No, I would love to be in your
Me
head
neither.
I'm just now getting that was an Avengers Endgame reference. I have not thought about that piece of media itself.
I'm gonna walk into the lake. Rob, were you on the same place as me?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
Listen, I was reading Steve Bucky fanfiction when Endgame came out.
Oh my God.
I was.
My home was in the AO3, the beginnings of that for the Marvel fandom, where everyone lived in the Avengers Tower together. Yes, lived there.
Listen, guys, I love that for y'all, but
Once again, we're failing the Bechdel test.
as a South American person, I refuse to watch anything with Captain American on it. So that's basically why I have never watched the Avengers.
The only Marvel stuff I watch is Superman. Or not Superman. Hello? Where did that come from? Spider-Man.
I was like, that's not.
That's the opposite.
Obviously, there's a rivalry there.
Almost like the one that's in this tale, this crazy
Yeah.
little moment. All right. Do we have anything that we want our listeners to keep in mind as we continue to talk about women and feminism and their roles in this series? Anyone can go.
Just that we love women. I think everyone here can agree, right?
Yes.
Right?
Women
Yes.
can do no wrong. I support women's rights and their wrongs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And something I noticed earlier when some of y'all were talking was that like here today we were all raised as women, I assume. So like I feel like that's just like a perspective I'm gonna bring is like I don't identify as a woman now, but like previously I was raised as a woman, and I think that that's relevant and interesting.
No,
and also
that's
very
very
gay.
true. Also, yeah, gay women totally different than straight women. Real.
Yeah. Just for the record, Lauren, Amanda, and Laura are not straight.
We're not.
We are not straight.
And
Please
Amanda,
get that right. Thank you.
Amanda and Lauren are not women.
Thank you.
If anyone says that on the internet, I will.
I don't think the people on the internet who are fighting with me are listening to our podcast because they clearly are having some kind of like higher order functioning that doesn't allow them to listen to our podcast. But
It's just making me irrationally angry.
it's just making me irrationally angry too. And this is why I had to get off
Very
the internet
sorry.
this weekend. And now here I am sitting on Threads waiting for the Connor or for the Hudson photos to drop. Like, I need it biblically. Biblically. Anyways.
Also, women are. Did we already say they're not a monolith?
Yeah.
Women are not a monolith. Trans women are women.
Mm-hmm.
Trans women are women.
Women are allowed to make mistakes.
Yes.
We are not perfect.
Indeed.
Except for Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion could do no wrong.
Sure.
And if Megan Thee Stallion wants somebody who won't cheat on her, bang my line. I'm putting myself out there. You know who wouldn't cheat on Megan Thee Stallion? Me.
So
I would
true.
wake up grateful every day to be with Megan Thee Stallion. You kidding?
Shifting away from the beauty of Megan Thee Stallion to now the beauty of our Heated Rivalry women. I'm sorry this podcast is insane this week, but Amanda, have fun.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go woman by woman from this series, and we're gonna talk about them, and we're gonna focus on them because we have been waiting for this day for months to be able to talk about these wonderful, wonderful women. So the first one that we have is Maria, and I didn't say that she was my favorite, but I do enjoy her a lot. Like her girl. I just love her. I love her. I wish her all the best.
No, literally.
I want a smoothie made by her anytime.
Anytime. Like, I love that, like, she was, like, so unexpected as a character, but she's, like, I mean, obviously one of the people I quote the most from, like, the series. And I use her gif all of the time. Like, it's, like, one of my favorite gifs, where it's just, like, girl.
It's a perfect reaction gif.
I think I used it in our Discord earlier today.
And I really need to shout out to Bianca Nogara, who's the actress that plays Maria, because she was like, she has so little screen time, very short lines, and still she delivers there is no way that I forget her character.
It was very infectious energy, and I love that about her. Like, she does not waste the time.
Yeah, and I feel like she is like so aware of Kip, but it is just so like when she sees Scott come into the shop and she just like lets him be like, okay, here's your man's. Like, I feel like she's so like girl's girl, like low key about it.
Arguably, could be like, you could make the argument that the entirety of the series happens because of Maria when she encourages Kip to flirt with Scott.
Yes.
I was gonna say her impact, I feel like, is felt in that relationship.
100%. And like the excitement that I felt when I opened up Common Goal and saw more Maria cannot be understated or overstated.
Cannot be understated.
Yes. I loved her in the. I love her in that one. Like, just seeing more into that life and how she swapped shops and like went to, I think, Starbucks maybe or something, but then also like is low key going for Lucas, I think, right? Lucas Haas, which low key, that boy, I think that boy is queer. I think whatever. But yeah, she's so fun. I love her.
No, first of all, Lucas needs to be gay, because if he's not gay, then Rachel Reed is wrong. I mean, I think Rachel Reed is wrong about a lot of things, but also, and I'm a hater. And you know what? And I feel like Maria and I would get along really well.
But yeah, indeed, because she's also a hater. Like,
she's also a hater. Like,
but I wonder, Lauren, you're saying that you support women's wrongs. Does that include Rachel Reed's?
Ooh.
I saw this thread the other day, and it was like, Rachel Reed is not your mother, nor is she your queen.
I saw it, yeah.
And I was like, and you know what? I couldn't have said it better myself. She needs to go to a sensitivity training, or 6. I don't know. The microaggressions are wild. Her and Jacob. Everybody keeps saying, like, it's Canadian sarcasm. I'm like, okay, if it's Canadian sarcasm, we really gotta talk about Canada, because that's not sarcasm, y'all.
The fact that Canada is not the US does not mean that Canada is not racist. I keep saying that.
Keep saying it.
The atrocities against the Indigenous populations.
Yeah.
There is a level of racism in Canada that it almost, you would think it goes undetected, but it's just more subtle than you would face it in America. unfortunately.
And when you're speaking to a worldwide audience, you kind of gotta figure out how to talk to that audience with sensitivity. That's all I'm asking for, Rachel Reed.
The bar is so low.
The bar is in hell.
Right.
Literally in hell.
That doesn't mean that you can use Canadian to just like justify absolutely everything you say. I know Justin Trudeau did a lot of PR during Trump's first thing, but Canada, you're still part of the problem of the global north. Sorry.
And you know what? It was because he was hot. And then the blackface pictures came out.
Yeah, and the Katy Perry.
Now he's dating Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that part too. That's weird to me. I don't.
Why are we talking about a man?
Why are we talking about a man? We keep doing this. We need to decenter men in our lives.
We need to decenter men in our lives. I'm still so upset about that.
Let me just. I'm literally gonna walk into the lake. I'm going to walk into the lake.
So Maria, do we have any other thoughts on Maria?
I just want to say one more thing, and we have touched on this. At this point, I hope everyone can tell the difference between Maria and Elena. Please. But if you don't, you need to rewatch, and you also need to go to a sensitivity training.
And perhaps open your eyes, because they're very clearly different.
Go to the ophthalmologist. You know what, Rogue? You're right. Go to the ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
I think that it's literally such a microaggression. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
It's literally all brown people look alike. It's literally that microaggression.
Yes.
Like, no, bro, no.
You're just blind.
You're just blind. You are also racist.
It feels the same to me as when I'm out with my friends, and because me and like two of my other friends are the same skin complexion, they assume like, oh, you three must be sisters. None of us are related. It's just the immediate thought that they have, and it's like, perhaps don't say the first thing that comes to your mind. Perhaps dig a little deeper.
Oh my god.
The fact
Dig
that
your grave.
that says a lot about those people, you know, like who they hang up with, because if the first thought at seeing three people of the same skin complexion is siblings, I am worried. I'm really worried.
What if they were dating?
True. My friends are hot. I could be dating them. God.
Yes.
God.
Date your friends. Date your hot friends. Rogue, I do hope that you date hot friends. Not these ones necessarily, if you don't want to, but I wish everyone to be dating someone that you can call a friend and someone that is hot at the same time.
Oh, I am. I'm engaged.
That is my wish
so,
for everyone.
Oh, you're engaged. Okay, and you know what?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, when you're engaged to the right person, you're basically dating for a long, long time.
Exactly.
Lauren, you sounded so angry.
The look, Lauren, that you gave to the camera.
I'm really happy for
I'm happy for you, grumpy face.
No, I'm so happy for you. I'm literally gonna go walk into the lake. I'm walking off my second story balcony.
I love that.
Dear God.
Well,
Getting my rescue certification just to go diving after you.
please.
Amanda, don't save me. I'm
She's
where
right
I
where she
want to
wants
be.
to be.
I'm where I want to be.
The Garfield meme, who do you think took your boobs?
Anyways, getting off of our tangent, going back to the other brown woman that people keep messing up, saying they look like each other, is Elena, who I truly love Elena. I feel like I'm scared of her, one, and I am also aroused by her, two.
Yes,
correct.
Yes, thank you. And you know what? The only way to be.
Correct.
I don't think I read Game Changers before the show came out. I read Game Changers later, but I knew of Scott. And so then getting to see her in like the story for Game Changers, I think was really great because she really is such an impactful part of Scott and Kip's story.
Yes.
I also really love how we get Maria and Elena creating community and like we see their friend group, like, and that's not really something that we see for either Shane or Ilya, but we get to see that for Scott, and then later we get to see that for Kyle, and I really love getting to see the friendship group piece of it. And like we see that in Tough Guy too, with Fabian's friend group, and like the support systems that are made up for mostly the like the non-hockey love interests in the books is such a joy to see.
For sure.
I do love that Elena, like the way she is with Kip, at least in the show. I haven't read their book, so I'm not sure how she is with them in the book. But I do love how Elena isn't afraid to say the quiet part out loud. Like she very much sees when her, like Kip is one of her closest friends, from what I can tell in the show. Like they're very close. Their friendship is what it seems to me. So she very quickly recognizes when he starts to make himself look smaller or be smaller and sort of compact himself down in order to fit another person into his life. And I like that she very quickly calls that out. Like she's not afraid to sort of like say, "Hey, you're doing it again." Like she's not afraid to sort of pull him out of that, or at least stand with him in it and say, "Hey, you deserve this happiness, you deserve this sunshine, you don't deserve to hide yourself away in order to bend for someone else's happiness."
Exactly.
Everyone deserves a fan like that, I think.
I think we all need a friend like that in our lives.
Yeah, and I think her comment to Scott that everyone deserves happiness is really resounding with him and really impacts his decision later on, and like really helps prompt him to and like realize like what he's doing to Scott is it's like, or what he's doing to Kip, or he's like, oh, like I'm happy, like he's happy, like you know, we're good. But it's Elena's comment in that ballroom or in that at that fundraiser where he is really like, oh, maybe he's not as
Yeah, for sure. I love that there's like the sunshine line. Like that is really important to me. I think I had like some critiques about Elena. Like I get that she is like, I feel like we're like very similar because that is how I act when like I talk to my friends' partners. I'm like, listen, you don't fuck with that person. That is my person. But like I was also like, I don't know like how aware she is of like Scott's situation, and not that I want to give like any man peace or grace, but like that is like something that I don't know like how much she understands about it. Like I don't know how familiar she is with hockey and like the homophobia and the culture that's a part of it. And so like initially when I watched that, I was like, "Ow, damn, she's kind of harsh." But then I watched it back again and I was like, "Wait, no, I would totally like if anyone comes from my best friend, I'm like, and you know what? Go fuck yourself."
I think she is aware. At least in the book, she seems very aware. And also, I want to mention the name of the actress, Nadine Baba, doing an amazing job.
Yes,
because she delivers that line like the way she does it, because it is harsh, it is a wake-up call, but at the same time it's very sweet. Eyes on me, handsome, and all of that. And she's like, you're not doing this for yourself, like you're not outing yourself right now because you're looking at him, but also you need to figure this out. And I think I do think that she's aware. I just think that she doesn't think it is sustainable.
yes,
Which is something I really like, because we are a society that is so attached to this idea of love conquers all, and love is like the reason for everything. So you should accept anything in the name of love. And I don't think that we should keep feeding that narrative. I think that sometimes you love someone, and I have been in relationships where it ends not because lack of love, but because it's not sustainable in the dynamic that both people are carrying. And I think that is one of the hardest ways to break up, but also that's how I built one of the most beautiful friendships I ever had in my life. So I do love the idea that love cannot be the only thing that sustains a relationship between two people, that you need something else. And if the only reason why you're staying is that you love the other person, even though it's hurting you, even though you're drowning, even though the dynamic is toxic or anything, then that love will eventually get poisoned.
yeah,
And
no,
And I think that the book is a bit more insistent on how the well is getting poisoned in Kip's heart. You know, like I don't
Mm.
think that
Mhm.
the episode in the show gives us enough time to see that. But when we get to this point of Scott suddenly being more aware and being told that this is not good for any of them, at that point Kip is already like in very bad shape emotionally.
Yeah.
And Elena knows that, and no matter how much she appreciates Scott and loves that they're in love, she sees Kip fading away because that's what's happening. Like everyone is noticing that he is more isolated, that he is fading
Mm.
away, and it's not a balanced situation because everything depends on Scott's career. And we can understand that and be compassionate towards Scott like Elena does. But at the same time, I think none of us will want our best friend to be hidden away or fading away because of the person they love, even if that person is a nice person.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do think
Yeah.
that's why it seems a bit harsh coming from her because she is so protective of Kip, but I think from her perspective it has to come off a little bit mean because she sees just how much Kip is like shrinking in on himself that she knows, okay, I'm going to step up for my friend here and say the quiet part out loud. I'm going to say what she knows Kip isn't going to tell Scott
Mhm.
because she knows Kip is going to like keep convincing himself that he's okay with it and he's okay with it and he's okay with it and he's going to stay in the darkness of Scott's apartment and in the darkness of Scott's house and he's going to keep telling himself that he's happy even though she knows that he's not. So she's going to step up and tell Scott, "Hey, you're not making my friend happy in the way that you think you are." And he's not going to tell you that. So
Mhm.
it does come off a little bit mean, but I mean, I think there's also the thing of I think we as a society sort of always expect women to always know everything and to always do the right thing immediately first. But I mean,
Mm.
she only has her perspective of the situation. So she's going to do what she feels is right in the moment. And sure, yes, like Lau said, she has empathy for Scott most likely, but her first instinct is to protect her friend. I
Yeah.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Kip's her priority, and
Yes.
she wants them to be happy, and but not at the expense of Kip's mental health and his sense of
Yeah.
self and everything. And so she does what she thinks she can to help get Scott into a place where he's able to join Kip in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's mostly, yeah, that is one of my favorite parts of that episode. It's her. And it's that voice of reason that take us out of this traditional romance where everything is like this beautiful fantasy of living in this amazing New York apartment and being like the domestic couple that they are, and bringing them and us back to earth and saying, okay, now after like after the fact that you have confessed your love, you're both like, you know that you want to be together, we're past that. Now you have to face real life. And I just hope everyone listening knows that if you are in a situation where your whole life is centered on one person, that is a very, very fragile state, and it can crumble any second. You need a you need a community. You need more than that. And I hope that that's what we take from this queen, very, very smart woman.
Yeah, I don't have anything as serious to add. I do appreciate and I love that note about community. I really agree. I think community is so strong and important, and that's really evident in Skip's episode as community is so important for Kip. But I wanted to mention one of my favorite Elena moments is when we first meet her at the Kingfisher, and we've already met some of the others where they're like, thank you, Kyle," like at the bar and whatever. But we meet Elena, and Kyle is like, "No outside food," and Elena is, "Fuck off, Kyle." For me,
No, literally same.
no, I know. It's so funny, but for me, it's so like, okay, right. She stands on business and does not take no for an answer. Like, she gets what she wants and she makes it happen. And I appreciate that. And it took me, I think, until my second watch to realize that she can get away with it is because she brings him the food. Because I thought she was just doing that to do that, but I think she can get away with being a little mean because, and mean like in like a loving way. Because it's like saying like, fuck you to your friends. Like, how Lauren tells me to fucking stop all the time or whatever. But it's like a loving thing as friends, and so
It's not loving towards you.
Right. Right.
No, no, and exactly.
I have said this before to our guests. They are a married couple, and I was just newly introduced to the throuple.
Do you wanna know what these words on my it's upside down.
It's upside down.
My friends write on this. It's on my door.
It's blurry as fuck. We can't read shit, Amanda.
Yeah.
It says, this is Lauren's writing. It says, miss you, LOML AOME. That stands for love of my life, apple of my eye. So if Lauren says they don't love me, they are gonna have to rip their eyes out, I guess.
Yep.
And you know what?
Amanda's keeping the receipts.
Amanda said, I'm gonna go get the whiteboard right now.
Upside down and all.
I got proof.
Love the verbal affirmations. Yes.
She's like kind that way, where she's like hateful and like, fuck you, Kyle, but here is your food that I got for you to like keep up our friendship and stuff. And so but that was for me very showing of her character, to say like, fuck off, Kyle, like I'm gonna kind of do what I want here, but also here is your food because I love you. So that was, for me, it was very like showing, not telling, of the like, she stands her ground and takes no shit from a man.
And in that same scene, we see her be a girl's girl, because she's like, okay, I don't care what you think, you white man, just let me know what Maria, the authority on this situation, has to say about whether or not this man is attracted to you.
She's like, I don't trust your judgment. What is the impartial third party observer who knows what she's talking about say?
Exactly.
Honestly, the phrase "girl's girl" triggers me so much, because did y'all watch Love Island season 7 of the US last
no.
The most recent one, or was it the one before that?
Yeah.
The one with Huda, right?
The one with Huda and Olandria.
That's the only one I've seen.
All they kept being like was, I'm a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl. Olandria is not a girl's girl. And it's like, why are you going after one of the only black women on this show?
You know why.
Anyways, besides the point, irrelevant. That triggered the hell out of me. You mean like, she's a girl's girl? And I was like, and you know what? What does that actually mean?
Sometimes it's just an excuse to be catty.
Yeah, that season was hell. I can't. It gives me PTSD. I can't.
It gives me PTSD. I'm writing an article on it, and it gives me PTSD.
Hell yeah.
Any other Elena thoughts?
I don't know. I think Elena and Maria are so pivotal to not only Kip and Scott, but I think sets up an interesting framework for when you apply some of their thoughts to Holinov as well. Because like, everyone deserves sunshine, and just the way that they can read the men, like even though they don't interact outside of New York with our crew, I still think that the lessons we learn are not exclusive to that episode, and I appreciate that. But then we do get the rest of the insight from the rest of the women, and I think that they're great women to, even though they're just in basically that episode and a little bit of I'll Believe in Anything, I think they're great.
Yeah.
It's definitely a theme that runs through the whole season.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's such a juxtaposition to Ilya and Shane's story, where they don't have that community.
Yeah.
Yeah, the juxtaposition between Kip having like such a large group of friends and having that community, like compared to Ilya, he's very isolated. Ilya, I mean, in terms of like having people around him, like he has his team around him, obviously, and he has Svetlana, but only when he goes to Russia. But he's very isolated, especially when he's on the road and away from home. And even when he is home, he's still very isolated in terms of being around his father and his brother. That's a whole other thing. So.
I think there's also something to be said about Skip and Scott and Kip. I think there's something to be said about Scott and Kip taking, whether you're taking the book timeline of like 6 months or the show timeline of 2 years,
yeah,
to get to like figure out, to work through the logistics of their relationship, to get to their happy ending with the help of Kip's community and Maria and Elena versus Holinov and their 10-year situationship hell that they suffered through. And yes, the situations are different. They're both hockey players versus just Scott having to deal with the league stuff, but community is powerful.
It's so
I have a question.
We love it.
So true.
Do y'all think if Elena and or Maria met Holinov at any point in their situationship if they would have like clocked it and like said something and like made progress, or yeah.
Yes.
I
feel like
don't know.
they need to like be like on the friend level. Like if they were friends,
Yeah.
Yes, I think if they were friends, they would clock it, but I think if they were not, they would not.
Because I know
Right.
we've said before, like if someone was in the locker room when JJ is like he didn't go to, all I know is he didn't go to Nashville, we know that any woman would have clocked that. But I'm wondering
well, yes,
if, because Hayden is like Lily's calling and like doesn't give a shit, but because like, and Svetlana knows there's a Jane, but like doesn't push him on it. And I'm wondering if Elena or Maria would push, specifically Elena, since she does push Kip. I wonder if Elena would push either Halanov.
I think part of it is they don't have all the pieces. Like everybody has one piece of the puzzle.
That's
Nobody's
true.
able to see more than one piece of the puzzle
Yeah,
next to
that's
each
true.
other.
I also think that Shane and Ilya's personalities are drastically different than Scott and Kip's.
Yes.
And that Scott and Kip are able to be pushed and more open to that.
Yes.
Especially at the point that Scott's in his career. But Shane, because not only of his like interstitial identities and his intersecting identities of like his race and his like queerness, but also like you have to think about like Ilya's like cultural like low context or like high context. You have to think about like so many other things. I think literally if like Elena or Maria like if Elena tried to push like Svetlana tries to kind of push, I think they would just shut down and wouldn't talk to them. Like I think it's a very different situation between the two groups of people.
Yeah.
No, very agree with that. I feel like if Elena tried to push Ilya, she would meet a brick wall. It very much wouldn't work because like of the way Ilya's personality works. And if she would try to push Shane, she would meet probably a similar brick wall, but in a different, more emotional way, I think. So I don't think that their personalities would play off that well together unless she had that history of knowing them and knowing what they're like.
Yeah, and you could like argue that like if we want to switch and start talking about Rose, like part of the reason that Rose gets Shane to like talk about himself is because she like spends so much time with him and she learns so much about him.
True.
And then she's able to kind of like integrate herself and push a little bit. Whereas I think if like Shane just met Elena, or like I think he would just brush her off like he brushes Scott off, or you know, whatever. But I think Rose and Svetlana we'll talk about later, but I think Rose is really integral obviously to Shane's identity, like coming out to Ilya, like that part of Shane's story, because I think Shane fully goes into that relationship with Rose. I see it as kind of like a last ditch effort, like as kind of like I haven't had like a relationship like this in a while, but I know that I really like Ilya and I'm really scared about what's going on there because it means that I'm gay. But if I try and date a woman really quickly, then maybe it won't mean that I'm gay. You know, maybe I could be bisexual, which would be different, right? And so I think like Rose is really integral to that part of Shane's journey as both like physically and mentally like talking through it with him, like physically and mentally like emotionally being there for him, but also just like that is at the point in his journey where he's like, all right, well if this doesn't work, then like fuck it, balls to the wall, you know.
Yeah, I think especially after his conversation with Ilya for like the moments before Tuna Meltdown, like where Ilya is like, oh, you like women, do you like them? And he's like, yeah, sure, like whatever. I think that he doesn't start pondering that until he's with Rose, until Rose is like, do you like kissing me? And then it's the same sort of like immediate, like, sure, yeah, whatever. Like that immediateness, I think. And I know Rose doesn't clock that because she doesn't get to see the Tuna Meltdown, but I think that's when Shane, I'm wondering if he's put the pieces together already or if Rose has to point it out for him. Because I don't know, I go back and forth because I think he knows that he's queer, but yeah, I think you're right that he's like proving it to himself, which is I think what he tells Ilya later is that he needed to like not prove that because that doesn't feel right, but like, you know,
he needed to be sure before he took the risks that he took. And yeah, I think that's so relatable as a queer person to be like investigating your own past and trying to collect whether it is to prove that you are queer or to prove that you're not, and really like I do think that it can be so invalidating to explore sexuality when you're forced to constantly know. Like, a lot of people don't know because they're not as aware of what feelings mean. Like, I am someone who takes a long time to realize that I'm falling in love. Like, people have to
Mm.
point it out to me, like, that's a crush, you're in love. And I'm like, no, I just like giggle all the time when I'm this with this person, blah blah blah. And also, I think there's a lot of like the story we tell ourselves about who we are sometimes do not
Mm.
match the reality that we're experiencing, and that does take a lot of mental effort to bring that narrative closer to the reality that you're living in. And it
Yeah.
can take a long time for your brain to make the connection and actually start processing the information, even if the information seems obvious
Yes.
from the outside. It is not always as obvious when you're so close to it, when you're like experiencing it and you have to deal with all the voices in your head that are telling you what you should be. So I can relate to that. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to shout out to Rose.
Mhm.
More specifically, we all know I love Rose,
Mhm.
but Sophie and Elise,
Mhm.
I am in awe of her versatility, because this is the same actress of Shauna, young Shauna in Yellow Jackets,
Yeah.
I knew you
person
were
that
gonna bring
has
this up,
zero
Lau.
Yeah.
zero empathy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
she
She's
is
insane enough.
evil.
She's
She
insane.
is she's insane.
She's insane.
She's evil. She's cruel. I know the contact lenses do a lot of work in Yellow Jackets for her character, but in here, the first time I saw her, I was like, I know you. You're from Yellow Jackets. But it took me so long to realize it was Shauna, because
Right.
it's a completely different human being, not only in the color of the eyes and in the character she's playing, but the body language is different. The gazes are different. And I felt so happy to see her do that. I was like, yes, I love when actors can act. And I'm in awe. I love her. I think she's amazing. And even though she annoys me a lot in Yellow Jackets, I can now,
Decisions.
every single time I'm annoyed after an episode, I can always go back to the memory of Rose Landry and be comforted by it.
I think for Shane that really adds to his confusion with Rose is that
Yes.
like their first interaction immediately, I think what confuses him most is that she's so disarming for him, because like one of the first scenes we get with Shane, I think in like the first or second episode, is the announcers talking about, you know, how Shane and Ilya are on the ice, and like one of the first things they say about Shane is he's not very sociable. You know, like we don't really see him go out with the team and have a lot of
Mm.
fun, but he's great on the ice and stuff. So we know like he doesn't really get along with people a lot, or he's usually going into most interactions not expecting to be himself immediately. He's usually tempering himself to other people's expectations and then basing his conversation off of that. So I think going into that first conversation he gets with Rose at the bar, he's like unexpectedly relaxed, and he finds himself being able to actually talk to someone without having to hold everything back, even though he is obviously holding stuff back from her, you know, like with his whole relationship with Ilya, or the non-relationship with Ilya. But I think that's what confuses him, is that he finds it so easy to talk to this person. He's like, oh, she's so nice, she's so friendly, we get along so well, surely that must mean that we have to date now. and, and I think that adds to his internal compulsory heteronormativity,
Yeah.
because he confuses the two of like, oh, this person can be my friend, or I can date this person, which is not always the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my gosh, a woman that I like and I enjoy talking to, and we get along, and like it's easy to have conversations with her. I don't have to like think too much about it.
Yeah.
Gotta date her. Is
No.
this what being in a straight relationship is? Like
Well, Shane Hollander is cosplaying as a lesbian.
Yeah.
For like
Yeah.
a second. Like he's like, is this person my friend or do they want to date me?
Also,
Yes.
based on the way straight people talk about their partners,
Mhm.
I will completely understand that Shane has no idea what love
Mhm.
means between a man and a woman.
Well, yes, because he hears like the people in the locker room that are talking about like, oh, ball and chain or whatever. And Hayden loves Jackie bad, like that's his one good frame of reference. But you know damn well the rest of the metros are shitty as hell to their wags. Like they're terrible. So his even his compact understanding of cishet love, like that is a little skewed in that. And like David and Yuna are like a great image for him of what love is to look like, but what he hears in the locker room, if it's any impact on him on how he should date, it's kind of abysmal.
Yeah.
I think also part of it is that he, like, whether we're talking book Shane, who has had other experiences outside of Ilya, or show Shane, where like it is really just kind of his high school girlfriend, and Ilya, I don't even know if they have him have his high school girlfriend in the show, but he hasn't had, like, Ilya has been his only like good romantic sexual person that he's had romantic sexual encounters with. So if he's going through this thought process of like, oh my god, like I have to try, like I have to see if I can make this work with a woman, and along comes Rose, who is a woman, and he's able to have this connection with her. Yeah, and he's like, okay, maybe it's just like this crazy good with Ilya. Like maybe this is just what it's like with anybody who's not Ilya. Like maybe this is as good as it's gonna get. Like for someone that's not him. Mm-hmm. And he goes for it, and like my friend, that is a BFF.
Yeah,
that is not a girlfriend.
That's a BFF.
Right, like boy learns what it is to key with someone for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. Haley, when you say a woman, I can only think of Epic,
oh my God.
the musical.
Yes.
A woman.
A woman.
Well, and especially thinking of like Cersei as like a woman, as she's like a manipulator and can like sailors, and Odysseus is a trickster. Yeah.
Rosa Cersei, give it to me.
Yes. Oh my God. Christopher Nolan.
Have I got a role for you?
Christopher Nolan, go back.
Yeah.
Sophie Nélisse as Cersei, yes. Yes, give it to me.
Welcome to the best part of your life.
All right, listeners, the Hudson Met Gala picks just dropped, so we took a brief intermission, so that's why this transition's awkward. But if you haven't seen that already, or if you want a reminder to go look again at how beautiful these men look, oh my goodness.
Go look again.
We're confused on where the girl went, so by the time you're listening to this, hopefully we have an answer as to why
Hopefully we have an answer on where the grill is.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hate to say it, I mean, the outfit's incredible, but I'm underwhelmed.
Yeah, for me it really is. I am not pro matador or pro bull killing. So for me, just this brings a lot of like questions. First of all, around cultural appropriation, but also around like animal rights.
Also,
I don't love it. Yeah.
To me, makeup doesn't make sense.
I was thinking like
red.
Like I like the makeup.
I love it.
It doesn't make sense.
Where did you get the red from? Like,
yeah.
I do
maybe they did his makeup like this because he has to like quick change into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Lauren, did the designers ever do, as our Met Gala expert on the call, did the designers ever do like an author's note on like their look, like a thesis? Like, do they speak on the look that they put together at all, or is it they just put the work together?
It's usually not the author. It's usually not the designers. It's the stylists. The stylists will usually have stylist notes. So we always can look at Anastasia's page. She'll probably put them up like later tonight. And I mean, she did like an incredible job. She dressed Shabuzi last year for the Met Gala, and his look was amazing. And so like, because last year was Black Dandyism. It was like the history of like the Black Dandy as fashion, blackness.
A lot of people got wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people got it wrong. Because you have to think about the most of the people who attend. But I remember Shabuzi's look being very good. And so she'll probably put something on her. She usually does like notes on his styling afterwards. It'll either be like she'll talk about it in a magazine, or she'll talk about it on her Instagram, something like that. And Aika usually will do notes about his hair and makeup and why they chose it. And that you can usually find, like, generally most celebrity stylists will do that kind of stuff.
Very good.
Oh, it's Archive Balenciaga. It's from 1947. It's the earliest piece in the collection, and it's based on a matador's jacket. It shows the influence of Balenciaga's Spanish heritage, which is peppered throughout his career. Balenciaga was born in a fishing village in the Basque region of Spain, and he always draws upon flamenco ruffles and black lace.
His pants are not tailored to where they should be, which I don't love. But I'm imagining either like a gold or like black lace, or almost like a couple chains under him, like wrapping around his body so they peek through, almost like shibari type, like that kind of style of just like gently draped over his torso. I think that would be really cute.
Why are his ears spray painted? I don't know if I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that either.
This is why I asked, because I am not a fashion girly. Like, that is not my area of expertise. So I'm curious to see what like the intent behind the look was.
Well, yeah, so then he's a friend of Balenciaga.
Yes.
So basically when you're like a part of a house, you are either a friend of the house or you're like in the house. So Connor is in YSL. He's like a part of YSL. And so that's why all of his looks have been YSL, even though YSL dresses him like shit, right? He has to choose YSL because that's who's brand sponsoring him. Hudson is a friend of Balenciaga, so he can wear Balenciaga. He was at the Balenciaga Paris Fashion Week, or was it Milan Fashion Week? One of the two. But he doesn't have to wear it all of the time. But I like that it's a historical like fashion piece. Like I think those are always really interesting for people to do.
Did their stylists do this on purpose where they both are wearing pants capes?
Connor's is his necktie.
Okay.
Connor is wearing a shirt like Hudson wore for the Golden Globes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
After party. I think the pants had to be created. Also, that is normal for where men wear pants, Amanda.
Past
Like
their
men
ankles?
don't wear waisted.
It's
What'd you
not
say?
tailored to, like, it's past his ankles. It's almost at the sole of his shoe.
Oh, he might just have long pants on then. I thought you were talking about where his waistline
No.
is.
The low rise is fine. I'm talking about at the feet.
Yeah, he might have just not had time to get it tailored, is the other thing. Or the other problem with a lot of historical fashion is it doesn't fit people. Like Kim Kardashian ruined Marilyn Monroe's
famously,
dress when she wore it for the Met Gala.
My heart always breaks at that. Like
that was the worst thing ever.
And it set a horrible precedent too.
Yes, yeah. Like, and celebrities don't care about historic fashion. Like, they don't wear the same clothes every day. Like, they don't. And now I'm gonna get into how the Met Gala. No,
that's okay. We should talk about Svetlana. I have a boat date tomorrow. I need to get ready.
We are now covering the Met Gala.
Oh yeah, amazing. All right, we are going to now turn to the other half of the Rose-Lana ship, Svetlana, who I think we all said was at least some of our favorite character.
Loves Svetlana.
And you know what? She's a great character because her characterization is nothing like the book. And I'm actually really excited to see what they do in the long game because, like, I remember part of the long game, Ilya's like, can I tell Svetlana? And, like, they have to go to dinner together and him to be like, yeah, I'm dating Shane Hollander. But, like, she knows. She's gonna
announce the move to Ottawa and she's gonna be like, when am I meeting him?
Yep.
So let's talk about Svetlana. Who wants to start us off?
There's so much to talk about with her.
And where do we even begin?
Okay, first, when do y'all think she realizes Jane is Shane?
That's a good
when
question.
she catches Ilya watching the movie in his house.
The lake
before
house,
they're about to go out.
the cottage documentary.
Yes.
I agree. I think that's true. Because again, and I mentioned it when we covered that episode, and I'll say it again, the scene where the game is canceled and Ilya comes home and Svetlana's in his apartment, literally the 2 weeks before that, he had just gotten Shane's number. So it's a fresh Jane. And she's like, oh, Jane, like, new person you're texting. And every year keeps up with it. So she knows of her her existence forever.
I feel like she confirms it when they're talking about them playing on the same team. And then Ilya's like, have him corner me? And then she's like, oh, I think she puts it together then. Like,
yeah, I think she's like a little suspicious in the beginning when they're like about to go out to the club because listen, when I'm going to the club, I'm not watching my rivals
Yeah.
like cottage documentary. I'm like drinking, finishing my makeup, calling the Uber,
Yeah.
smoking a cig. Like I'm not.
You're pre-gaming, yeah.
I'm pre-gaming. I'm not like sitting on my couch waiting for my hot not girlfriend and watching my not rival on this on the screen. So I think that's like the first moment where it's kind of like, and you know what? And honestly, like Svetlana is so perceptive. Like she lives in Boston, we know that. And like they hook up every time they play against each other, right? And so like Svetlana's like, "Oh, you're not going to be available tonight because you're playing Montreal. Why would you not be available?"
Yeah.
She's not a dum dum.
No, she's so smart.
She's super clever, yeah.
And she knows when to deploy the information that she knows
Yes.
to get like to help Ilya through this like she knows him enough, like they know each other so well that she knows when he will be receptive and when he won't be, and when he'll like he needs to hear something, like when they're in Russia for his dad's funeral. Like their relationship in the show is one of my favorite adaptation choices that they made.
Yeah, I think she's one of the smartest people in the show, emotionally and just otherwise, because of this. Like, because she doesn't point it out to him when she realizes, she holds on to it because it's like, what is she gonna do with it? But you're right, it's when they're in Russia where she's like, yeah, I know Jane is a he. Like, she like hints at it but doesn't let it get to her, because she's like, he'll figure out. She's almost like opposite Elena in that way, where she's like, he's got his own shit that he will figure out with whoever this person is, and like, she knows that her relationship with him is good, and she's not going to get involved in his business until she has to.
And she knows when not to push. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Rogue.
She knows where not to push, and in a way that is not. This is something I talk a lot with people that have family members in toxic relationships. Not that Ilya is in a toxic, but knowing how not to push, but always letting the other person know that the door is open for when they decide to talk. And I think she's very good at that. She's very good at saying, like, I'm gonna stop right here, but I'm gonna stop because I already delivered the message that I wanted to deliver, is that you can talk to me about anything, and I'll be here when you're finally ready to discuss this.
She's very good at meeting Ilya halfway, because she knows that if she pushes him too hard, he gets to a point where he either shuts down completely and doesn't let her in anymore, or he just chooses to go off the deep end in the worst way and ignore how he's feeling entirely. And she knows overall that's not going to help him. So she's very good at like meeting him where he is halfway, in a way that lets him know, sort of non-verbally a lot of the time, of like, hey, I am still here, I am still in your corner, I'm on your team, I'm on your side. Whenever you feel like opening up or talking about the thing that's clearly bothering you, I'm here for that. And I think I love that they made that change in the show, especially like watching the show and then going back and reading the book. It was a whiplash to me, because I was like, wait, Svetlana isn't in this book. I was like, where is my girl? Who is Ilya talking to? Because I know it's not Marlowe. So it was very very much a shock of like, I worry for Ilya in the book a lot, but in the show I at least have the peace of mind of knowing, okay, he does have Svetlana when he chooses to lean on her, at least. So yeah, I love her as a character. Just everything about her is just so. I really hope that they stay with her in season 2, because I know in the long game, obviously there's like Ilya's not in Russia anymore. So I really hope that they don't lose contact. I hope that he's still in his life, so that he still has someone to lean on, especially with all that we get in the long game for his isolation and for how that affects his depression. Which sorry, spoilers for the long game, I guess.
Our one allotted spoiler per episode.
Yeah. I really hope that they keep Svetlana with the way that they have from season 1, because obviously we know, like we've seen the signs from season 1 that Ilya's depression is there. Like we've seen them depict that in like small baby bits that they've given to us, which I have no doubt they're going to expand upon in season 2. But I hope that we don't get a cold turkey Ilya doesn't talk to Svetlana anymore. He feels like that part of his life is left behind. He doesn't want any part of Russia to be dealt with in his life anymore. He's just fully here, fully committed to Shane now. And I don't know. I really hope that we get her in some capacity, at least.
I think we will.
No, exactly. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna dump her. Like, I feel like she's gotta be there. Like, that's crazy. I like something I obviously really like. I would love to talk to Ksenia, who plays Svetlana, like, because I want to know about like how she conceived of this character when the character was like white and blonde and stereotypically Russian in the book, and like how her growing up Russian and like how that part of her heritage, like how did that like influence her playing this character. And like I just want to ask her like so many questions that I like can't ask her until I'm face to face with her. So Ksenia, if you want to come on the show, please do, because I have so many questions that I want to ask you, especially about like, because we've seen kind of like very racist vitriolic hate against Hudson, and I'm wondering like how, because I haven't seen any of that against Ksenia, or like who plays Yuna. Christina Chang. Like, I haven't seen a lot of that, like anything really aimed against the women. And I mean, it could be because the Heated Rivalry fandom is like populated by mostly women, but like I would be interested to see kind of how she conceived of this character who was white in the books and she is not, so it's definitely like a thread of questioning I just would love to ask her.
Yeah,
I feel like the way that the fandom responds to Svetlana in the show versus in the book, and the lack of discrimination against Ksenia in the show, I think is mostly because Svetlana in the show is such a different character from how she is in the book, or from how she's portrayed. Like, she's almost not a character in the book. She's more of an archetype.
Yes.
And versus in the show, she actually has a personality. She has opinions. She's not a backboard for Ilya to be around. She's not like in the background. She's very much in his life. She has an active role in his life. She's someone who Ilya sees as someone to protect, as we've seen with how he is with his brother. They're almost two entirely different people, I think. And that's why I think people have such a different reaction to it, because there's no base for it almost. Not to say that like Rachel like didn't include Svetlana in the book, because she is, but it's like it's not the same, I think, very much.
Yeah, I think like going off of that, having like in the fan fiction that I've read, there's a lot of people will specify like, oh, this is using like book canon, this is using show canon, this is using like a hybrid. I've never seen, and maybe other folks who have been also reading lots of Heated Rivalry fan fiction, but I haven't seen the book Svetlana like in, and like anytime Svetlana's in the fix, it's show Svetlana. Like that is the character that the authors are building off of and exploring.
She actually has a depth.
She took that, and also she took that character. Not only like the script did something with that character that is way more interesting, and the casting, but Ksenia herself, like she made something that is long lasting in people's memories, which is not happening with book Svetlana. So I don't think, like, I wonder what's gonna happen with the next books. I wonder if this is gonna have like, I doubt it, because Rachel Reed is definitely not like Rick Riordan, but
unfortunately,
because Rick is very much like, he's writing right now, and you can see the cast on the books, on the
you can see how it changes.
Yeah, exactly. And how he has started to implement a lot of what the actors have brought to the table. And I wish we would get that for Shane and Svetlana and other characters, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I know we mentioned it in our race episode of like, if Shane's race, not to make it about a man, but I'll connect it back. If Rachel tries to have Shane investigate his race a little bit more, we want it to feel authentic and genuine. And I don't know if there's a way to retcon Svetlana that way, unfortunately, or the way that Rick does is, instead of describing like physical features, describing like emotional reactions or like expressions or like the clothes that they're wearing and stuff like that. Because yeah, I feel like there's just ways to describe people outside of like how they look. And I hope that maybe Rachel adds a bit of Ksenia's as Svetlana's personality into book Svetlana. I think that would be,
because it is an improvement, honestly.
yeah,
Yeah.
make her more than one-dimensional.
Mhm.
Right, and I think to even transition this to talking about our last woman in Heated Rivalry, Yuna, like Yuna, I mean, we've talked so much on this show about Yuna's like life as an immigrant and how we don't really get any of that background and like the cultural background that she has and like how that is just missing and it most likely would not be if we were to like look at a person who has a very similar story to Yuna, because like I think something Lau and I were talking about the other day was kind of in response to a lot of the like microaggressions that Rachel Reed has been doing against Hudson Williams and against Shane as characters, and that she's, you know, never really fully developed his like Asianness, or, you know, she talks about his autism like it's a thing that she accidentally did and she wished she never did it, or whatever she says and whatever shitty way she talks about it. But like it doesn't matter that like Shane, like a lot of people are like Shane isn't a real character, like it doesn't matter what Rachel says about this, but like Shane has real identities that real people have, and like same with Yuna and all these other women that we've been talking about in this episode, and it's a disservice to not address those identities in ways, shapes, and or forms, to just give them and then forget about them, because media does not exist in a vacuum. Like everything that we do comes from, like, we learn it from somewhere, and we learn so much from the television we consume, the books we read, the movies we watch. And so we can't just say, oh, I want my fun little fan object to not have any like real world implications in it, but it's going to, is the thing.
Yeah.
And like in fandom, people don't just get to walk into fandom and shed all their identities at the door. That's not how this works. And like this is what I was trying to get people to see on the internet. And
you don't get to just say ignore the context when it's blaringly in your face.
Right, exactly. You don't just get to say, okay, but this is like a fun little book where race doesn't matter. Like, no. Like, I'm sorry.
Like,
that's not how things work.
As we were saying with Ethan the other day, like when you say race doesn't matter, do you mean like a utopia where racism doesn't exist, or do you mean white supremacy? Because sometimes you just mean like, I don't want to think about it, and don't come to me like I'm a person of color and I disagree. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. I won't tell you what you think. But I just want you to remember that just because you yourself are a person of color does not mean that you represent the opinion of every single person of color. Because I saw in a lot of the replies to Lauren and other people's comments on social media, some people like, well, actually, I am brown or I am black and I disagree with this. And I'm like, okay, good for you, but that is not an argument. Like, that doesn't mean that this doesn't harm people who are being misrepresented here. Like, the fact that you are able to shed your identities at the door when you click play, okay, that's something you can keep doing. That's your life. But a lot of other people are feeling attacked or are getting hurt by these microaggressions, and you are not the spokesperson of your skin tone or ethnicity or neurodivergence diagnosis. Like, you really need to like remember that no group is a monolith, and maybe if some people are saying that they're getting hurt, they're not saying that you are getting hurt. They're not speaking for you, they're speaking for themselves, and they're saying like, this is why we need to have these conversations in a way that is smart and compassionate, because even if some people are not gonna mind it, some others will.
Right.
So
And I think that's like what it all comes back to is that systems of oppression hurt everyone, no matter if you are directly impacted by it or not. Like, misogyny hurts men too. Like, white supremacy ultimately will hurt white folks too. You know, like, if you exist outside of the very small, very minute norm that these systems of oppressions uphold, like, you are still going to be hurt in some way, shape, or form by these systems. It's like when magazines say that, like, oh, women who like Heated Rivalry are just sex crazed, or they love watching porn, or like all of these things. But we're sitting here on a podcast that's now, I don't know, 15, 16 episodes deep, and we keep coming up with things to talk about, and how these identities are still being discussed in different ways and shapes and forms, and how different people and their different identities are represented in this show, and how they help each other through their journeys. And so I think to like bring it all back to kind of our last person, for Yuna, is like, unfortunately, she is like very much the stereotype of the tiger mom, like when we first are introduced to her, and that's a very racist stereotype against Asian women, you know. And so like there are ways that she obviously like sheds that stereotype, which we especially see in like episodes 5 and 6. But like I think Yuna is, I can't wait to see kind of where she goes next with her identities and with her story, because I think there's so much that we're missing just from, and even the way that like Yuna steps in as like Ilya's mother in The Long Game, you know, how Yuna and David become Ilya's parents, like that is so important to Ilya's growth in that book.
The good thing is that I have full trust in Christina Chang, so I'm like, she's gonna continue to bring nuance to all these stereotypes, no matter what is written on the script, no matter what is written on the books. Because I remember starting the series and I was like, who's this character I hated? I hate this stereotype of the like girl boss and momager. And then, because I was like, why, in a lot of moments on the first 2 episodes, and then I fell in love with her. And I think that speaks to Chang's performance, definitely, and to the chemistry she has with David's actor and Shane's actor. She's amazing as like the head of this family, and the glue of the conversations that they have. And of course, the last episode, that conversation between Yuna and Shane, that is added, that was for me like the balance that we needed to bring to the character. So we could see that it's not that she has zero awareness of his son's feelings or any of that. She's like, I am so sorry that I didn't give you the space to come out safely. And I won't like, and the tiger mom comes out at the, I won't let you apologize like for a second. Like, this is off the table. Like, you feeling ashamed of this, off the table. We're not having that. We are not having you hiding away. We are not having you doing this to yourself. And that's why it's so powerful, the scene, I think. It's not just like, I'm sorry I made you feel that you couldn't tell me this. It's also like the, no. You're not apologizing. This is not how this is gonna go.
I love that scene. I should rewatch it, especially after the shit my family pulled this weekend. But we can tell that story later.
I'm sorry.
No, but I'm so glad you brought up the chemistry, because I think that the chemistry that Christina Chang brings to this portrayal gives Yuna so much more depth, and her like little mannerisms and like micro expressions and like the tone and everything. I think she just builds out Yuna in the way of like there's just so much personality. Like I feel like I can like reach out and feel her through the screen. There's so much depth in her, and I think that again that brings so much more dynamics to the show, and how these men have these strong women backing up behind them. And like Shane for a while did feel like he was going to disappoint his mother, but she went right back and said like you said, I'm not going to let you apologize for this because you have nothing to apologize for. And again, like the strong woman of this show, I will never like speak down upon. Like these, like I idolize these women because they are so strong. Like that is like the people I want in my life. That is the family that I want. That is who I want to be for other people. And I love that kind of representation. And I think that that chemistry really helps with that.
I would reject the word strong. Like, I think that saying like women are strong it has become like just this way to talk about women that is very surface level and is very relative to men, I think. And I think it is almost a detrimental way to describe women because it has so many ties to strength is inherently tied to masculinity. And it's not to say that women aren't strong. I just think there are other ways that we can describe them. And I don't think you're as specifically pointing out strength either, Amanda. I think you're pointing out like assuredness or like confidence
She's very
or like
uncomfortable.
in tune with the emotions, things like that. Lau.
Yeah, I love that you're both bringing this up because this is something that has been discussed a lot in the global south feminisms, because countries like Colombia, countries like Mexico, countries like IT, we are countries of single mothers. We're countries where the ones that carry the weight of the whole society are women, are
Mm-hmm.
left abandoned by men. And Haitian folks have this proverb that has sparkled a lot of Haitian feminism commentary. They say "Femmes c'est potomitan," and the potomitans is the like the structure column of the peristyle that is the Vodou temple. And so it's basically saying like the women are the backbone of society. And a lot of Haitian feminists have said like yes and no, like we want to be acknowledged for the work that we do for this society. We want people to know that Haitian women have carried the country. Mexican women are the ones going to search for the lost kids in the
Mm-hmm.
in the north of the country. Like women here, las madres de Soacha, las tejedoras de Mampujan, they are the ones, like, even if you go to Argentina, las abuelas de la Plaza de Mayo, we are very important in history. Like we have been part of the resistance against the violence that have been imposed on us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's this other side to the coin that is very bothering. That is this idea of resilience as the thing that is always brought up as the virtue of women. And
Mm-hmm.
strength always tends to mean, and Amanda was not using it that way, but I understand what Lauren was triggered by it, because strength is always used to say like she will survive anything, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't leave space for us to critique and and resist the violence itself. We have something here. We have a similar concept here. That is el concepto de la berraquera, and we talk a lot about how like women here are son berracas, and when we say that, we mean like that woman has survived against all odds.
Mhm.
And we applaud that without changing the society that has forced that woman to be that strong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's what I'm trying to get at is
To me is like, yes, she is strong, but why?
right.
Like
Right.
what makes her, and she's not a single mother,
Mhm.
but she is the immigrant member of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is the woman of color of the couple.
Mhm.
She is bringing up an undiagnosed autistic kid
Mhm.
who is Haitian in a very racist and homophobic environment. And I do think that that requires strength.
Yes.
What bothers me about like applauding it and leaving it at that is that we really need to check why we have so little moments of Yuna being soft,
Right.
being
And I also think like saying I think another reason why I think it's something that I don't like love when we use it to describe women is I feel like it inherently pits women against each other. Like it inherently is underlying this idea that women have to go through something, which I mean we all go through something, right? We are all victims of the patriarchy. But like it implies to me that women have to be raped or have experienced domestic violence or have, like horrific things happen to them in order to be called strong in some shape or form. But like in reality, like the patriarchy is oppressive to all of us in some shape or form. And so even if you are, I think it's just like the word strength being associated with it, like it's just in my head, it's like the stuff when like people are like, oh, it's something about, there's like something about balls, is, or like they'll be like, it's like a common saying about balls that I cannot think of right now. And people will be like, well, why don't you say that about vaginas? Like, vaginas actually, like, birth people into the world. And it's like, why? Well, like, why are we always comparing women to men? Why? Stop it. Let them stand on their own. Let them stand on their 2 feet. Like, so.
Do you mean like balls of steel?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The term, like, the phrase balls of steel. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a side of feminism in Latin America that bothers me so much because it's like the glorification of vulvas as the strong ones. And I'm like, first of all, let's stop focusing on genitals as the determinant of our
Yes,
gender.
one.
And second of all, vulvas are like vulvas and vaginas. They're strong as hell because you have to push a baby out of it when you're pregnant and have one. But at the same time, they're very fragile. They have a fragile pH. They can get hurt pretty easily. They can, and I think that is a human body. Like humans are both strong and fragile.
Yes.
And that is so important. And there is something to be said about the fact that the like strongest, quote unquote, more powerful performance of Christina Chang as Yuna is the moment where she's crying and breaking down and being stopped. Because we sometimes need those moments of emotional connection and fragility. That was a lot of English.
Yeah, that was a lot of words. Those were a lot of words. Does anyone want to add anything else about the women of Heated Rivalry?
I think for Yuna, like in terms of her being described as strong, I think she presents that way because she has to. Especially being the immigrant in the relationship, in the marriage, and being a mother and a woman at that. Like this is her first time dealing with any of this as well. But I think for specifically for women of color, a lot of the time you have to present as strong, as uncompromising. You have to present yourself as an immovable wall because otherwise you will get pushed so many times and people will keep pushing you if they know you're going to move. So I think for Yuna, she knows she has to be that hard a lot of the time. Even with Shane, sometimes she has to be that strong because she knows that if she isn't, then her son is going to be taken advantage of,
right,
in this very toxic male dominated sport. She knows that if she loosens her grip on the reins even a little bit and lets someone else take over for even like a second, she knows that it's going to take Shane down a path that she does not want for him, and she knows he will not want for himself.
Right.
She has to be that strong. She has to step up for him in that way, not only as a mother, but as an Asian woman, as someone who knows like how awful the sport and the world and the media can be towards Asian people. She knows that like if she shows even a hint of weakness for her or for Shane, then she knows that like it's not going to end well.
Yes.
And I think that's what I had a hard time getting a read on her at first when I first started the show, because I didn't know if she was going to be too much of a momager. Like I didn't know if she was going to be one of those moms who put her son into sports so that she could feed off of his success or something. Like I could not get a read on her at first until they had that conversation. I forget which episode it is. I think it was like episode 4 or 5 where they have that conversation in the restaurant, and Shane, and like they're all talking about like going on a family vacation, and she and then Shane says, well, like you guys can just go because you know they don't need me there, they just want to know that the name is attached. And she says like, I don't want you to lie, that's not who you are.
Exactly.
And I think at that point that's when I start to like understand like, oh, she's not in this like for the sport or for the money or the fame or whatever. She's in this for her son. She cares about her son at the end of the day. She cares that he stays who he is. She cares that he remembers who he is and stays true to himself. And I think that's when I really started to understand and love her. It's like, oh, she really does love her son.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to reflect that back on their conversation later at in the cottage episode of I don't want you to lie, that's not who you are. And then this whole thing where she's like, oh my god, he's been lying to me for so long.
Yeah.
And that's like, I thought that's what I know, that's he doesn't want to lie, so the fact that he felt like he had to lie to me, it's once you like put all like, I want to like super splice like all of the Una scenes together and see how she evolves and like understands Shane, because especially as Shane comes into his adulthood, I think her view on him is like really developed.
That's when she starts to like understand.
Christina does a phenomenal job of playing that arc of Una, like Yuna's character arc throughout the season that ends in that moment of emotional catharsis at the cottage. It's a beautiful subtle like it's a really, really strong performance. I would love to see if someone's spliced together all of the Una scenes. I would love to see
for edits.
Someone has done it on TikTok at some point. I'll try to find it.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Anything else we want to add to our conversation before we end this episode?
This conversation and I was looking on it, but I don't think the video has any subtitles in English. There's this beautiful song that it just came back to me when we were talking about strength and about like when I was mentioning Latin American women. And it's called, I'm gonna write it down in the chat for the people here, and then we can put it on the show notes. And I think you can Google the lyrics in English. It's called Si Me Matan by Silvana Estrada. She's from Mexico.
Okay.
She's a wonderful artist. She is like very like outspoken about feminicide in Mexico and in the rest of Latin America. And I love that. I love the video. I would love to hear from people that watch the video without understanding the lyrics first, to see what that communicates to you, because I think that it's a story about resilience through softness. The music is very soft and the whole video is very soft and her voice is super soft. So it just came back to me. It's been years since the last time I listened to it. My cousin sent it to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful songs about feminicide that has been written in the last decade. So I leave it there just for folks who enjoy music in Spanish. There you go.
Yes.
That is not. It's not reggaeton. Don't expect any Maluma, any Bad Bunny. It's something completely different.
Oh, how did you know? And how did you know? All right. Then if no one has anything else to add, thank you so much for being on the show today, y'all. We really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing all of your opinions. Haley, I can't wait for you to listen to this at 2 times speed.
I don't know how you listen to me talk that fast, because I already talk fast, so at 2 times speed I cannot imagine. Like, that's like Mike Schubert levels.
Honestly, sometimes, Amanda, I have to slow it down when you're talking.
Perfect. That is exactly what I want to do. I'm working on going too into it, and I know it's so bad. I'm sorry, but that's awesome.
two podcasters that you cannot listen at 2.0, Mike Schubert and Amanda.
No, I love that. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Since Rookie Season. Thank you to our guests for being on today. Please rate the podcast 5 stars and leave us a review. We always love reading your reviews. You also can follow us on our social media. We're on Twitter or X. We're on Threads. We're on Instagram. And you always can send us emails or voice memos at srspod@protonmail.com. We will see you all next week when we are talking about romance novels.
Woo-hoo.
Woo! All right. Yay!
Since Rookie Season is created by Lauren, Lau, and Amanda. Our cover art is created by Lauren and Lau, and Amanda is our editor. Thanks for listening.